Our church is facing some truly significant challenges, but I also think we have a really incredible opportunity to reach our city in Jesus' name in a new and a bold way we've never been able to do before. On Sunday, September the 8th, I explained these problems and our solution to our church. And in this video, what I want to do is just give you a brief summary of the kinds of things we talked about so that you'd have some context for everything that's coming. The first thing I want to do is talk with you about 5 really important challenges that we're facing as a congregation. The first really significant problem is the problem of attendance. First Baptist has been experiencing a general decline in attendance for the last 20 years and a sharp decline in attendance over the last 10. In 2019, the Lord was really kind to us, and we are thankful that it was our first year of growth in 11 years. But that's a year of growth after a long season of serious decline, and so even that blessing isn't enough to erase some of the problems that we're facing. That gets to the second problem of our location. First Baptist Church is located in downtown Jacksonville, far away from the thriving areas of growth in our city. What that means is that for us to invite visitors and guests to church and for us to have an expectation that they'll come, they have to do 2 things they never do. First, they have to go downtown, and second, they have to come to church. Those are some pretty significant realities to ask unbelievers to deal with. And so we just have to face the problem of having a campus of our church so far away from the surging areas of growth in Jacksonville. Another significant problem we're facing is the size of our campus. First Baptist Church has an incredibly massive footprint downtown, 1.5 million square feet. This is like the average family of 4 who's supposed to live in a house with 2,500 square feet, buying a house with 25,000 square feet. The facts are nobody can afford that much space. It's actually connected to our fourth problem, which is the problem of maintenance. First Baptist Church spends $5 million a year of our budget on maintaining our property. That's 37% of our budget that's not being spent on ministry in Jesus' name, but is instead taking care of rusted walls and failing systems. That $5 million is also not close enough to adequately care for our facilities. We did a massive study in the recent months to find out what our church needs to do to update our facilities. There's a massive amount of work that needs to be done that has not been done. That work that needs to be done that hasn't been done is called deferred maintenance. It's all the work that has to happen to keep our facility working that we chose not to do because we couldn't afford it. Our deferred maintenance study revealed that what it would cost to fix all of the problems on our campus is a mind-numbing $37 million. And after we spend that $37 million, in order to keep that up and really take care of it every year, instead of spending $5 million a year, we'd have to spend $7 million a year. That's 53% of our budget. And the fact of the matter is that an institution that is spending 53% of its budget on plumbing and heating and buildings and facilities, that's not a church anymore, that's a property management organization. It gets worse when you add everything up. The cost of our deferred maintenance added to what it truly takes to care for our property every year is a $72 million bill that we would have to spend by 2025, and that is a breathtaking amount of money. That gets to our financial situation as our church. The reality is First Baptist Church is a really big church. We have a lot of people and we have a large budget because so many of our people faithfully contribute. But even with the size of our church and the size of our budget, we simply don't have the kind of money it takes to fund that sort of maintenance. And even if we did have that money, even if somebody came up and gave us a check for it, we would still not feel right about spending such massive sums of money on space that we don't need. What that means is we have to learn from these challenges and see the opportunity that God Himself is presenting to us to change our ministry model so that we stop funding places and we start investing in people so that we relocate our budget away from maintenance and onto ministry. This change will happen in 2 phases. First, we will consolidate our ministry operations in downtown Jacksonville to 1 block. This will give us the square footage we need for a church our size and will provide a physical plant that we can afford. First Baptist is on track to spend $30 million over the next 6 years poorly maintaining our many blocks of downtown property. Instead of spending this money on sinking maintenance and facilities, we will use it to refurbish and remodel the Hobson Auditorium, the Lindsay Building, and the existing administration building. This will be a beautiful facility that will hold our church in multiple services for many years to come. We will be able to do our ministries in new and improved facilities that will be attractive places for our members and guests to worship, serve, and advance the kingdom. The second phase of our ministry change will be to sell our excess property in downtown Jacksonville. This is property that we acquired over years in order to do ministry. This is property that we will now sell in order to do ministry. In this new generation, we will use the fruit of the miracle of downtown Jacksonville to sow the seeds of the miracle of the entire city of Jacksonville. Instead of asking people throughout Jacksonville to come to our church, we'll take our church to them as we occupy smaller pieces of property throughout the city on multiple campuses. These are exciting days of change in the life of our congregation. But in a really important way, everything is staying the same. For our entire history, our church has existed so that Jacksonville may know Jesus Christ. Our heart to reach our city in Jesus' name is just as strong as it has ever been. We're only changing the way we do it, from a way that was effective in a previous generation to a way that can be more effective today. We're thankful for all that God has done in our church in the past, but we want to do more than remember the miracles of yesterday. We want to invest in the miracles of tomorrow. I'm thrilled to serve as your pastor as First Baptist Church pursues a new generation of miracles.